Hello friends! For those of you watching this for the first time, welcome to FlowdtaVie. Today I'm going to tell you about a dream that touches me deeply. A world where money would no longer be the center and where we would share everything: food, clothes, knowledge, like a big family. What if we lived in a completely free world? I have a fictional friend, Kiba, inspired by someone very dear to me who embodies this dream. Kiba lived on the streets, and even there she gave her coats, given to her by friends to other strangers, in need without expecting anything in return. She told them, "Love your neighbor as yourself," and when she received their thanks, she would tell them that when they had the opportunity, the best way to thank her was to do something from the heart. It reminds me of the friends on the street in Nancy who provided meals and human warmth every Tuesday, all year round, out of pure unconditional love. These gestures make me vibrate, but my heart is also in pain. It's so little in a world where money decides everything, sometimes even the worst, like drugs or power games, sometimes even going so far as to provoke wars following acts of interference, go against sovereignty. Seems so dear to flow of your life. Yet, I'm amazed. People like Kiba, like the friends on the street, or like you, us, Steph and me, show that another world is possible. So come with me, and let's explore whether living without money is a sweet dream or a reality that is already beginning. We will talk about natural law, the debt that binds us, the abuses of the system, and how free education could change everything. Are you ready? So let's go. To understand this, let's take a simple example that is understandable even for children. Imagine you want a toy, but your piggy bank is empty. You ask a friend of your parents to advance you the money, or even give it to you. If it's a loan or an advance, you'll eventually have to pay it back, perhaps with interest, and that's what you pay for. If it's a gift, like when Kiba gives a coat to strangers on the street, it's free and comes from the heart. Kiba, who knew the streets, asked for nothing in return. She was just guided by a phrase. She whispered, "Love your neighbor as yourself." But in our world, money creates chains, pyramids. In geopolitics, countries go into debt for roads or schools. But these debts force them to obey those who lend, like the IMF, with interest that weighs on everyone. And your savings. Let's talk about your savings. The one you put aside can lose its value with inflation, as if your coins were no longer sufficient X time later to buy the same candy or toys or good or service. The economic crisis, mostly artificially caused, and global debts are weakening everything. This is why I talk about letting go of money. It makes us dependent, anxious, and far from the present moment. Look at natural law, another theme dear to the flow of your life. Animals don't store like we do. A bird takes the seeds it needs. A wolf is hunting for today. Have you ever seen animals stored away with tomorrow in mind? With a few exceptions like ants, bees. Okay. As a rule, they live in harmony without fear of lack. Kiba lived like this on the streets. She gave away her coats, even when she had few, because she believed in its simplicity. What if we took inspiration from her? A free world is going back to that. Take only what you need, share the rest without a pyramid, or a few accumulates everything to the detriment of others. Fortunately, a world without cash has already begun here and there, thanks to initiatives that prove that free works. Take Kiba, this fictional woman inspired by someone close to her. After living on the street, she gave everything, even her coats, to strangers, people in need that she met, without expecting anything, just out of unconditional love. She already lived in a world without money, guided by love your neighbor as yourself. These gestures inspired others who began to give in turn without calculation. And there are so many real examples where it's more about waste as opposed to overconsumption, or bakeries, restaurants, stores, all areas combined. Local producers gave rather than see their harvest lost to the benefit of the most deprived sometimes, and whose precariousness rhymes with account and feeling of abandonment. In France, more than 450 SELs, a local change system who exchanges without money. 1 hour of craft versus 1 hour of cooking class. Around 160 solidarity fridges save 700 kilos of food per day for 3,000 people, fighting against waste and hunger. The approximately 350 repairs cafés in France repair 70% of the items brought in, avoiding tons of waste. There are more than 1,300 shared gardens in Ile-de-France, cultivating and harvesting together. A local example that touches me in Cerville, in Meurthe-et-Moselle, the Mayor Gisèle Fromager planted 4 orchards with around 50 fruit trees. The locals pick apples, mirables, plums and cherries. Everything is free for the pleasure of the moment. What remains is used for schools or festivals. It is autonomy, natural law in action. 2 themes also dear to FlowdtaVie. There are also gratiférias, these free fairs from Argentina, which are multiplying. About 20 a year in Nantes or Paris. We give and take clothes, books, tools, without paying anything. It is a joyful sharing of mutual aid that creates a bond. 3 years ago, in 2022, we participated in the 3rd Sharing Festival in Réunion Island at the initiative of Hugo and Émilie Brisson of Mocica Réunion, movement for a conscious and autonomous civilization founded by Jean-Philippe Hubert, based in Nancy. These Sharings festivals, like many others that are organized here and there, are simply magical. People give, receive, live in the present moment without calculation. I also add a special tribute to the street people of Nancy. Every Tuesday evening and all year round, not just in winter, they distribute meals, clothing, hygiene products and human warmth to people in precarious situations, like Kiba with his goat. Gives without judgment 52 weeks a year out of pure unconditional love. But not everything is rosy. Take Kiba, for example. A fictional company, Hopeware, wanted to exploit the story. They sold Kiba coats at exorbitant prices, claiming to help the homeless, but keeping the profits. Kiba fought like a modern-day Erin Brockovich to protect the authenticity of his gesture. It shows what a money-based system can do. Even generosity can sometimes be transformed into a product. Anecdotes like this, where charities were caught red-handed helping themselves to the best fruits and vegetables, putting the beneficiaries before them, are not so trivial. There are examples like this. A lot of them. These examples, Kiba, the Street Friends, Cerville, and Gratiféria, embody my themes and flow of your life. Those who are dear to me. Letting go of accumulation, the authenticity of true exchanges, freedom without debts, trust in the community, autonomy, solidarity, mutual aid, free goods and services, fair bargain. I deliberately insist on the notion of fairness when this notion is not always obvious because of the imbalance in the valorization of the goods and or services exchanged. And finally, the last one, the present moment, savoring by picking a fruit or giving a coat. Unconditional love is also at the heart of everything. Give without waiting, like Kiba, who offered the coats to strangers, or in incredible edibles where we plant to find. But why denounce money and its excesses? Because it creates a pyramid. At the top, a few accumulate wealth and power, and below, the others struggle for survival and lose their bearings. These pyramid schemes fuel scourges, power games, or geopolitical debts are folded from entire countries that beat the sight in the street. Money divides while generosity unites. Prostitution or lack of money forces people to sell their bodies. Drugs as an escape from precariousness, weapons to wage unjust wars at the expense of the lives of innocent people who have asked nothing. When she gave away her coats, she broke this pyramid, living according to natural law. Take what you need, share the rest like a bird or a wolf. And governments. Etymologically in Latin, for those of you who don't know, governare and mens mentis in Latin means control of minds. They play with money and debts under the guise of democracy, which can be seen as a dictatorship of the majority. However, some stand out from the crowd. In Dunkirk, buses are freeing up mobility. School canteens are organic and free, feeding children out of collective love. Imagine if all leaders followed these examples, all friends from the street, free orchards everywhere, shared services, widespread, without debt, without counterpart, a free world laid down there with people like you, me or Kiba, who said, love your neighbor as yourself. A completely free world is a challenge. Organizing infrastructure without money requires coordination and heart. But with technology, natural abundance, and our ability to share like someone who beats street trends, it is possible. These initiatives, which are being used to serve the gratified, prove that free service reduces inequality, protects the planet, and nourishes unconditional love. While preparing this video, I sometimes felt like crying because seeing Kiba give her coat to strangers, seeing friends on the street offer meals every Tuesday, 50,000 French people swapped in stools or 250 tons of food saved per year in solidarity fridge. It's beautiful, but it's so little in a world where money creates states and drama like drugs or power games. Yet, my heart lights up. Every free gesture, a fruit picked, an exchange at a gratiféria, a coat given like Kiba, a soup shared in Nancy. It is a seed for a world where well-being comes first, where we live free without fear of lack. So I challenge you, try it for free. Place an item of clothing in a gift box. If there are many around you, join a SEL, plant a fruit tree that will benefit the greatest number of people, or give time like Kiba, or the friends on the street. Every gesture is a step towards a world where money no longer rules, where we help each other out of love, not out of calculation. As in the film A Wonderful World Paid Forward with Kevin Spacey, in this film a domino effect is launched from a simple, selfless, anonymous gesture of solidarity to transform into a general outpouring of generosity around the young boy. Perhaps one day our governments will follow this momentum for a society where freedom and well-being are for all, not just for elites. For those who have a Facebook account, you can go and see the initiatives in your region on this group that I recommend, and I will put it in the comments. A free word, an initiative with little, or no money, or free donation. And in the meantime, let's act on our own scale and do our part as a human bird. Let us be the change we would like to see. It begins in the heart of each of us, each of you. Thank you for being there on FlowdtaVie. Share your ideas in the comments, and let's continue to dream big together. Thank you, and see you soon.